Well, here we are, everyone. This is our third video today. First of all, I guess one of my videos yesterday didn't, the video part went out. Anyway, when I make mistakes, which I will, please, it helps when you let me know. And someone did let me know, but said that you were okay with it. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and be okay with it. Anyway, so we're starting up with our third video. You have your same supplies that you've had, your 2H, your 2B, your kneaded eraser, and your vinyl eraser. You can use them at will. Your eraser shield, and remember what we do is we find things we don't like, we shield our drawing from them, and then we can erase them off. And so the other idea is, let's say within a drawing, let's say I didn't like some of those spots right there. Let's say right there, that's full of spots. I'll make it large. Oh well. I can erase just in that little hole right there and take off some things. See, it made that little hole. So it's kind of nice for when you have a mistake and you want to get rid of your mistake, but without smudging up your whole drawing. Okay, we have two more techniques today. One of them is you're going to like, but it's not your real friend. And the other one you're not going to like, but it really is your real friend. So let's kind of see how that goes today. Our first technique is called smudge. And what we're going to do is we need to find a nice and smooth leaf. I've got one here, but I don't know if you can tell, it's almost too simple. I want to have a little bit of something to draw. So I'm looking for another leaf that's fairly smooth. I would say we can't really draw too many lines, so we can't take one with too much information. So even something like a leaf like one of these two would probably be ideal. So I'm gonna work with this leaf right here for my smudge technique. So kind of a simple leaf without too many lines. I'm gonna wait. I didn't see the jaggedy lines. Nope. I gotta find a better one. We want a nice, smooth leaf. Mrs. Rouse, why are you stalling like this? I don't know. I want to. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to choose one of these again. So without too many lines on it, the lines on this one are pretty tiny. So I think I can with that. So you can try turning your leaf right side up, upside down, and see if that helps. Okay, so with the smudge technique is we can't use any lines or textures. We want this really, really smooth. So as we approach this, yes, you have to draw lines. When you move your pencil across something, it makes it better. So it's a little tricky, especially at the beginning of drawing. So keep your lines very, very delicate. So I'm going to draw in very, very light my shape. And what smudge is for is when you need areas of shading. That's your smudge technique. And so I just really, really lightly, I don't think you can really even see it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use the side of the pencil or very delicately the tip of the pencil, and you're going to draw in, trying not to let your line show your details. So very gently, so it's really not lines, you're kind of filling in things. So I'm almost making too many lines as it is. Very gently filling in your details, trying to get your areas. So I'm kind of filling mine in back and forth. I have a little bit of a line right here at the edge. And then what we're going to be doing with this technique is we're going to use our blending stick. It's called a blending stump. It actually has lots of names. And we're going to smudge it or blend it. And I'm going to use that along the edge too. And it gets a nice, even kind of look to it. And as I look, as I work on this, I can, if I do make a line and I don't want to see my line anymore, I can blend my line away with the blender. This is the technique that we think is our friend, but it's really not. It's not considered a professional technique. It's considered a beginner's technique. And when you take more advanced art classes, they're going to ask you to not use this technique at all. So sorry about that. You think it's your friend, but it's not, because it basically mushes up your whole drawing. So any of these really cool personal things that you may have done will just be all smushed around. So that's why it's not really popular with the truly fine art crowd. So if you have a really light touch with your pencil, like I'm trying to have a really light touch now, even though I'm drawing lines, I can go back and blend them out. Also, if I use the direction I use my tool is kind of the same direction I put my lines in. It's going to help me. Otherwise, you might start making kind of a crisscross thing. If you end up with lines and you didn't want lines there, obviously we're trying not to have lines, just lighten it up or erase it. So I'm getting closer and closer to the details I wanted here by smudging. And then I want it to be more in the middle. So try not to make your lines too dark. Have a real light touch with your pencil. And then for the shading that you need, see, I'm working for this large kind of green area here. And it has these little tiny details on the edges. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. And then I'm going to use my blender again, probably in the direction I put in the lines in the first place. So it's least likely to leave lines. So anytime you do get lines, like I've got a few in there, you can go back and erase them. One thing you can do too is, let's say I want this kind of lighter part to stand out in my drawing. I can add a background behind my drawing. I haven't done this in the other ones. To help make it, it's called pop it out, or make it stand out a little bit better. So I'm just kind of adding a background. This one's not, looking at my time, I don't want to spend too much time on it, and then we're going to move on. So basically what this is you're trying not to have lines there, but you're doing shading with the lines you do have, and getting rid of them and using the blending tool to blend and create your leaf. So it's kind of halfway done. You can see a couple places I don't like, so I can use my eraser on those lines there. Right in here I made a little something where I didn't want it to be. I used my eraser shield to get in there without erasing. So you're going to complete the drawing to see some samples of some smudges that are a little further on. You can see right here. That are obviously shells again. So we don't want any lines to show at the end of the drawing. You can see I added some things to some of these to give them some contrast so they pop out. Keep an eye out for your shading. That's why that looks so three-dimensional, because there's shading on it, obviously. Try, even though it's made of lines, you try not to show lines. But the problem is, sad face, it's just considered a beginner's technique, and you can do some beautiful stuff with it, but it's not something that would be used at the advanced level or the professional level. You don't smush stuff around. You want to draw directly and beautifully up on top. Okay, so the next drawing we're doing, they're kind of similar because they're both for shading, but the next one is tonal. That's the one you're not going to like, but it really is your friend. So let's say I went back and I did do, no, I don't want to. I did do another type of leaf. I guess it doesn't have very smooth edges. So something, let's say I did something like this. And so what tonal is, and I'm going to start off with my 2H this time, is you're going to draw, but you can't ever smudge it. So you are using lines, but they're so careful and delicate that they don't show up as lines. So you can't, this whole drawing, you have to draw in very carefully and lightly with your pencil so that it ends up not having lines at all. So this is your loose, direct drawing methods. And very light touch with the pencil. I was going to start with my 2H, but I'm actually using the 2B. Sometimes, too, your pencil just doesn't seem to be doing what you need it to do. You could kind of turn it a little bit or something if it gets into an awkward place for you. I'm drawing this funny little thing here. So just gentle drawing, you know, here's something I don't like, erase it and get rid of it. Try not to smear your drawing accidentally, because we are trying to not smudge anything. We're trying to just directly draw and fill it in. Now, tonal, it takes a while. To do a beautiful drawing, it takes some time. So I'm going to have to keep working on this drawing a little while. Here's some samples of tonal done with a shell. And you can see, you know what? I don't even know if you saw me drawing that. There we go. You can see on here, I just started it. Just kind of carefully, I guess you could say, some of you call this shading in, where the shell is. The shell, delete this. But you are technically using lines, but you want to do it so lightly and so carefully that you really can't see them. And so you're just, with a really light touch, working your way through the drawing delicately and directly. And you can see the potential here for some really beautiful drawing that's just done with lights and darks. And so that's basically the difference between smudge and tonal. Please don't, I mean, I can tell pretty easy if you did here. I'm really lightly putting in my shape. I can tell if you've kind of fudged it a little bit, and I'm sure you can too. So try and really be patient with these. This particular one, it does take some time to do a really nice job. I can even put that little funny edge in if I want to. So that's the difference between smudge is you're drawing it directly, but then you get to smoosh it all around. Tonal, you don't. This is the professional and correct way to draw your lights and darks, and then you just have to slowly work and finish your drawing. So you're kind of getting the idea as I'm developing this drawing of how this all works. And then the quality, drawing wise, the quality between the two is not even close. This is, the tonal makes so much of a nicer drawing. It's clean, it's right on top. It looks like someone was just there instead of looking like someone was just there smashing it all up. So very light. Those of you with a lot of patience can work with your 2H pencils. You're slightly less patient like I am, and you prefer your 2B, that's fine, but it's only going to get so good if you've not used a 2H. But so far, we're doing okay with this one. Okay, I'm going to end the video. These are our last two techniques. What you're going to do, doing a little hatching, but I don't want it to show the grid right now, just making it darker with a hatch. I want both pages of the worksheets together in one photograph, and then you'll be obviously sending that to me for your project. So this one will take longer than this one, obviously. Your stipple probably took you a while to do. I'm sure it did to finish that one up. So take your time, do a nice job, and potential for really beautiful drawings there. You know, keep an eye on what you're drawing. Choose something simple for these two, and then just keep working on it, drawing on it. So you can smoosh it around. You can't smoosh it around, and please don't. So tonal, that's your professional technique. That's how it's supposed to be done. Smudge, I let you smudge all year. You're a beginner, you can smudge. But at a certain point, you're going to transition and never smudge again. So I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys have fun with this, and we're doing something completely different next time.